What's up YouTube, Dale here from Zephyr, and today I'm being able to bring you an update to trains. That's right, now this is as close to pure trains as you can possibly get it. This doesn't involve Earth Machines, so it doesn't involve Infinitracks, the Machinas or anything else like that. As a disclaimer, that is probably the better way to play the deck. If you want to take the deck to the highest level possible, you're going to want it to be a Earth Machine style build. However, I'm quite a fan of the way just the rank 10 train spam works, so I wanted to go with a pure version first, and then if you want to see an Earth Machine style deck, get the video above 50 likes in the first 24 hours and I'll be more than happy to bring that for you. So with all of that out of the way, I'm going to dive headfirst into the profile, show you what we've got, explain why we've got it, and then go from there. So we start off with the brand new card in the form of the Night Train Blue Traveller. Now the best thing about this particular version of the deck is if you want to, you can just take out the links and you can adapt this to a Genesis build if you wanted to as well. So you get to discard this card to then add a train connection or evolving switchyard from the deck or grave to the hand. If this card is in your graveyard, you can target one other Earth Machine monster in your graveyard and special summon both it and this card. Also, you cannot special summon from the extra deck for the rest of the turn except machines. You can only use this effect of Night Train Blue Traveller once per duel, and its previous effect only once per turn, which is a big shame. So it basically means you can discard it as many times in different turns, but only once per duel can you revive, which is a big shame. I would have loved it to have been the other way around, but you know, beggars can't be choosers. Then we play 3 Heavy Armoured Knight Babble Decker. This card's insane as well. So you get to normal summon this card without tribute. You can only use each of the following effects once per turn. If this card is normal or special, you get to special summon an Earth Machine monster from your hand. During your main phase, if your opponent activates a card or effect this turn, you get to special summon one rank 10 Earth Machine XZs from your extra deck using this card you control as material, and it's treated as an XZ summon. So if they basically hand trap you, you get to utilize the effect that during your main phase, you get to turn this into a rank 10 without needing to use 2 materials, which is really nice because then you can work your way into cards like your newer one being your Super Dreadnought Rail Cannon Flying Launcher. And yes, be prepared. I just think it's something in Yu-Gi-Oh! I think like the bigger the level, the longer the name. Anyway, we are playing 2 Heavy Freight Train Derricrane. You can afford to place at 1 if you are playing a different version of the deck, but like I said, this is train focused. Playing more level 10s makes sense once you see that I am also playing the draw card in the form of the Toku Sano Shinjuki Shin Kinyoji. There you go. That might have been right or wrong, but I got close. Yeah, so we're playing 2 Derricrane, 1 Bullet Train, 1 Night Express Knight. You can play more because this one here, your Flying Launcher, will give you an additional normal summon if you wanted to. Then we're playing 2 Flying Pegasus Railroad Stampede. So if it is normal or special, you target an Earth Machine monster in your grave except itself and special summon it in defense, but negate its effects. Target one other face-up monster you control. Its level becomes the level of the monster. Its level and this card become the same level. You can't declare attacks the turn you activate its effect except with XZs, which is kind of easily done. Got 1 Roughen Railcar, and then we've also got the 1 Gizmek Tangi Goku, the Immobile Intellect. The idea is that this card is special summoned off of the back of your Urgent Schedule, and in doing so, you've got the ability that once this hits the graveyard, you're able to target a machine monster in your graveyard whose attack equals his own defense and special summon it back in defense mode. So that gives you the access to your Express Knight, which can be quite useful for you as well. We're on 3 Revolving Switchyard. Technically, you should only really need to play 2 of this and then a Terraforming. I think could be quite useful, but there are times where you actually don't mind discarding your Night Train Blue Traveller to get to it. And this one is if a level 10 Earth Machine monster or monsters is normal or special to the field, except during Down Step, you get to activate the following effect. Your opponent takes no battle damage for the rest of this turn, even if this card leaves the field. But you get to special summon a level 4 Earth monster with 1,800 or more attack from the deck. And if you do, it becomes a level 10. You can send 1 card from the hand to the grave to add a level 10 Earth monster from the deck to your hand, Earth Machines. So this just gives you more consistency to get to your level 10s, but it also gives you the option to get the Stampede from the deck or the Roughen Railcar as well. Then we've got 3 of the brand new card Exceptional Schedule. So you add a Special Schedule, being this one right here, or an Urgent Schedule, being this one right here, from the deck to the hand. Then on top of that as well, to help your Urgent Schedule out, it actually gives your opponent a token, which is a Machine Earth level 10 with 3,000 attack and 3,000 defense. You get to banish this card from the graveyard to target a level 10 machine monster in your grave or banishment. Send one card you control to the grave, and if you do, special summon that monster. You can use each effect once per turn. But the idea is you give your opponent a monster, which means your urgent schedule instantly becomes live. Because if your opponent controls more monsters than you do, you get to special summon a level 4 and a level 4 or lower and a level 5 or higher Earth Machine monster from the deck in defense position. Negate their effects. They can't declare an attack the turn you activate this except with machines. And if the set card is sent from the field to the grave, you get to add a level 10 machine monster from the deck to the hand. Special schedule lets you target a machine monster in your graveyard with 3,000 or more attack and special summon it in defense position. If this set card is sent from the field to the grave, target a level 10 machine in the graveyard and add it back to the hand. So the idea is that when we're playing cards like the draw card in the Yugioh, you're actually able to put your machines into the graveyard very easily. The last kind of train-esque card we play is the one Barrage Blast. The reason for this one is actually just incredibly easy to search off the back of this one. So this one lets you specifically normal summon a machine monster in addition to your normal summon set. Great success. But then if it is XE summoned, you get to add an Earth Machine monster, which we'll probably do more times than not, or a Barrage Blast from the deck to the hand. So again, if you're not playing pure, you cut this down completely. It's not an issue. But the idea is, once per turn, you get to detach any number of materials from Machine XE's monsters you control, target that many cards on the field, destroy them. If Machine XE's monster you control is destroyed by battle or an opponent's card effect, while this card is in the graveyard, you can banish it, and then one Machine XE's monster from the grave, inflict damage to your opponent equal to that banished monster's rank times 200. Now, you're playing with rank 10s, so you're going to be able to burn your opponent for like 2k every time. And then, as I've kind of mentioned quite a few times, I'm on 3 of the Tokusano. So this just lets you send monsters from the hand and or face up field to the grave whose total level is equal 10 to draw 2 cards. It's not a hard once per turn, so if I open up 3 of these and I have 3 10s to send, I can do that. If there's 10s on the field that I want to send, I can do that as well. So there's just ways of being able to draw 2 cards. It's basically like a level 10s version of a lore. If you are playing a Earth Machine pile, whether that be the 60 card version or whatever, you might not need to rely on this card at all, but it just kind of gives you an option to put some of your cards in the graveyard. You can use Special Schedule, you can use the Blue Train, revive them, do everything you need to. And then the rest of the cards is all non-engine, so it's entirely up to you if you want to go full breaker, so play stuff like Forbidden Droplet, play stuff like Lightning Storms heavier, or if you want to go more hand trap orientated, and then you can start playing stuff like Ghost Bells, Dominus Purges, you name it. I decided to go with a bit of a mixture of both, so I went with 3 Super Polymerization, 2 Triple Tactics Thrust, 1 Lightning Storm, and 1 Triple Tactic Talent. The idea is that the Thrust should also be able to search you out your terraforming if you need it to, but you shouldn't need it in that kind of sense. But it can also get you a draw card if you need it. And then you've got the 3 Fuelos and 3 Ash Blossoms. Adapt them as you see fit. You don't have to play these particular cards I'm showing you. This is just the baseline. If you're a fan of trains, this is where you can start. And I like the idea of making trains like an aggressive style deck. Yes, Super Polymerization can conflict a little bit because you put a monster on your field that's not a machine, but the idea is you link it off into something like an SB Little Knight, which again can threaten your opponent early doors, or you just have a monster that's been able to break your opponent's field without response, and that's when you can start opening up the door to play stuff like Droplet as additional send fodder, and also a classic in machine style decks is limiter removal. So if you wanted to go like extra aggression, especially when you have monsters at like base of 5k, turn them into 10k to kind of get the job done. Moving on to the extra deck, we are on 2 of the brand new Super Dreadnought Rail Cannon Flying Launcher. So as already mentioned, it just requires 2 level 10s. It gives you an additional normal summon of a machine monster this turn, but then if it is XE'd, you get to add an Earth Machine monster or a Barrage Blast from the deck to the hand. Detach any number of materials from this card, target that many spells and traps on the field and destroy them. It's a shame that that's not a quick effect. You could afford to place at 1 if you want to, but it's just one of those rank 10s that you make and then get a nice search off the back of it. Then we've got 2 of the brand new Super Dreadnought Rail Cannon Yugioh Rocket. 5,000 attack. Yes, that's right. It requires 3 level 10s, but you can also XYZ it using a Super Dreadnought Rail Cannon Yugioh Rocket by discarding 1 card and using a Super Dreadnought Rail Cannon Yugioh Max you control. You transfer its materials to this card. When your opponent activates a monster effect while this card has material, quick effect, you negate that effect, and if you do destroy that card, then inflict 1,000 damage to your opponent. You can only use this effect once per turn. And then once per turn during your end phase, detach a material from this card or destroy it. Now, in the hybrid version, you'll play Fear and King Regulus, as that gives you the Omni Negate. In the train version, you rely on this card a lot more, because being able to set this up gives you that Nibiru protection. And definitely if you're going into the Genesis event as well, this will be the card you go to. And the best thing about it is if you were to summon out your Gustav Max, detach material, burn your opponent for 2,000, right? You then discard a card, rank it on top to go into this guy here. If your opponent activates a monster effect during your turn, you burn them for another 1,000. Now, at that point, this card will have 2 materials on it. One of them would be the Gustav Max, and the other one, because it transfers the materials across, will be the other material attached to the Gustav Max. You would then be able to detach 1 during your end phase. During your opponent's turn, they activate a monster effect, you negate, you burn for 1,000. Then as it comes back to your turn, they activate a monster effect, you burn them for 1,000. So before you've even had to declare a single attack, you've already burnt your opponent down by 5,000 life points, which is mental, and then you're going to attack with a 5k monster and then detach material from it. So insanely powerful card, amazing for trains, and then to back it up, you're playing 2 Gustav Mats, because whether you are just going to rank this up into a Juggernaut Libel, or if you're just going to be utilising it to go into the Gustav Rocket, you're going to be able to put some serious damage on the field. Speaking of the rest of our trains, we're on one number 81 Super Dreadnought Rail Cannon Super Dora. This is basically just your unaffected monster, but more times than not, of course, you can just make one of your other monsters unaffected as well, so extra protection. Then we've got the one Juggernaut Libel, so you rank this on top of any of your other monsters, and it can just punch a lot of times, make itself 6k, pretty much your game ender if you need it to be. Then we've got the one number 27 Dreadnought Dreadnoid. The idea behind this is it's a rank 4 that gets you into your trains. So at the start of the battle phase, if it destroyed an opponent's monster by battle, you get to special from the extra deck a rank 10 or higher machine XZs. By using this face-up card you control as material, it's treated as an XZ summon, and you transfer its materials to that summon monster. You can only use this effect once per turn, and if this face-up card on the field would be destroyed by battle, detach all card effect, detach material instead. And then the final kind of like train-esque cards we are playing is the 2 double-headed Anger Knuckle. So 2 machine monsters, can't be used as link material, only use one of the following effects per turn. During the main phase, quick effect, send a monster from your hand or field to the grave, target level 10 machine monster in your grave and special summon it in defense, negate its effects. If this card is in the graveyard, you send 1 card from your hand or field to the grave to special summon it. So it's just ways of being able to recycle some resources, turn a 4 into a 10 if you need it to, and it can really help you kind of push the field a bit more. Then we've got a generic SP Little Knight. This is mainly in here so that if you do use Super Polymerization on either Garura, Mud Dragon, or Sea Monster Ephesius, you can use it as link material with another monster to go into SP Little Knight, which will give you the draw. You could start looking at the ways of being able to make some synchro plays using your Sea Monster, but the only card you'll ever be able to do that with is like synchro level 9s, and that gets a little bit awkward. But then Mud Dragon could be quite nice because you make Mud Dragon, turn it into an Earth, and then your opponent can never target any of your monsters. And that's pretty much it for the entire profile. I like the idea behind the trains. I definitely feel, like I said at the start, if you want to play this deck at its highest possible way, you need to kind of play it as an Earth Machine style deck. You need to be able to utilize stuff like your Infinitrax, heck, you could even consider Vernisils sometimes, but your Infinitrax, your Machinas, everything else like that is really going to take this deck up a level, and that's when you're going to get the most out of it. However, if you're a fan like me of just the original rank 10 span trains and just being an absolute powerhouse of a style deck, being able to spam boss monsters to the field, then this is probably a better representation or a better build for you in that sense. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. If you do have any questions at all, by all means, put them in the comments down below. As always, I'm more than happy to answer them. For now, as absolutely always, stay safe and, of course, happy dueling.